Hey everybody, this is Kevin Quigley with Tarot Off the Cuff, and I'm here to introduce Sarah Berry. She's from Sydney, Australia, and has been reading for quite some time. She's a Vipassana meditator, she's an occasional trapeze artist, and she rides one of the most fantastic, amazing, decorated, artistic bicycles you have ever seen. So, enjoy.
Hi there, I'm Sarah Barry, also known as Psychic Sarah. This is Tarot Off the Cuff. I'm talking to you from Gadigal Land, the inner west of Sydney, Australia. This is the Next World Tarot by Cristy C. Road. The Magician. Okay. How much study is enough? How much tarot study is enough? Is there ever enough tarot study? I was very resistant to studying tarot at the beginning in the more formalized way. I didn't actually allow myself to read a tarot book for about the first 5 years of professional tarot reading. I had my own reasons. I needed to stop second guessing myself, and for whatever reason, reading a book would make me do that. So, doesn't the Empress mean this? And I actually really appreciate it, because as a result, I actually missed out on a lot of belief systems around the tarot because I'd never been exposed to that. And so it was often my clients that would teach me about these belief systems about tarot. They'd come in and they'd go, so how many times should I shuffle the cards? Like, as many times as you like. And I said, because sometimes tarot just say shuffle 3 times or 9 times. And I'm like, just shuffle however long it feels right for you. I was always putting back to how long just stop when it feels right for you. And then they'd say, should I cut? And I said, well, you can cut if you like. Or which way however you like. And then when they're pulling a card throughout the reading, so I'll show you my left hand and my right hand. It's like, well, whatever hand you like. And then sometimes people say, because the left hand is closer to the heart or something, and or depending on whether you're left-handed or right-handed. And for myself, I'm left-handed, and from a school age, I've been very dubious about left-hand, right-hand stuff, and it's like, I just think it's handism. And yeah, I'm very suspicious of when people ask me to do something with a particular hand. I've become very ambidextrous as a result, because this is a right-handed world. And really, I'm not complaining about that. It's far worse things to worry about, seriously, than poor little left-handers in a right-handed world. But yes, one of the things I'm grateful for having ignored those books at first is that I didn't have this strong notion of how it was supposed to be, and just also those belief systems that you can't buy your own deck, that someone has to buy it for you, it has to be given, have to wrap it in silk. Why? And for any of you who do have a really good reason as to why, it's like, yeah, but is that just a belief system? And I'm not saying don't do any of those things. If you want to cut. If you want to use your left hand or your right hand, if you want to shuffle in a particular way, if you want to count to a certain number before you stop shuffling, if you want to wrap your cards in silk, I really don't care, but just to be mindful that it is a belief system. Whilst I'm here, I'm just gonna add that I really don't think knocking on the tarot deck actually does anything, and neither does blowing on. And I actually find it, particularly during COVID-19, it's really gross to blow on someone's tarot deck to get your energy into the tarot deck. Please do not do that. I'm going off topic into a rant mode. Just why would blowing onto a tarot deck influence the reading whatsoever? The cards are already shuffled. They're not going to move magically in the deck. Just be content with your shuffle. Hand it over back to the tarot reader and be done with it. And if the tarot reader is doing the shuffling themselves because they don't want you to handle their cards for various reasons, because of COVID-19, for example, or just because, cards do get damaged. Most of my tarot decks have been damaged, just not hugely, but slightly. Little corners from rough shuffling, and I kind of take it, so it's just part of the way. of things, but some tarot decks are pretty special, and if a tarot reader doesn't want you to touch their cards, please don't. And also, you watching this as a tarot reader, you don't have to have anyone touch your cards. That is totally fine. They're your possessions. You decide what happens with them. And for people that have a very strong sense that a reading can't happen unless they have some kind of control over things, and really it's just their own control issues. And I mean, as tarot readers, we're not therapists. Well, some tarot readers are therapists, but traditionally speaking, tarot readers aren't therapists, so it isn't really our role to go into the deeper ins and outs as to why someone is trying to assert some kind of control with the tarot reader, playing power dynamics. That's another kettle of fish altogether. But I think as tarot readers, and as how it is that we want to grow and how we want to learn and what we do, and when we read the books and when we put the books down and when we study, when we stop studying, I think studying as tarot readers is actually a really amazing thing to do. I do online tarot courses from time to time. I'm very selective about who I choose to learn from, and I'm very private with that process as well. It's really lovely to hear what another reader has to say about the tarot or magic or cartomancy in general, and just to feel it landing in my own body and noticing that it is actually helping my mind shift in certain ways. So these are ways in which we can learn and grow. And so if as a tarot reader you are wanting to learn and grow and to be more connected to the cards and to be the best reader that you can be, then sometimes it will be about reading a book, but sometimes it will be about attending an online tarot course or an in-person tarot course. But a lot of the time it's just about learning to trust yourself and to realize that irrespective of who your mentor is or isn't, how many books you have or haven't read, that there is a point where you're required to be able to just believe in yourself enough to get out there and do it, and to do it as much as you can, and to not really worry so much about whether you know enough about the symbolism of the tarot, for example, and that, or whether you think the strength card should be number 8 and justice number 11, or strength number 11 and justice number 8. Who cares? Like, to not let the nitty-gritty basically get in the way of actually doing your stuff. So by all means, learn, absorb, read books, listen to recordings. Hey, watch tarot off the cuff. Do all those things, but knowing that ideally these experiences are just springboards for you to just get out there and try yourself, to put it into practice, to do it your way, and to do that really well. And remembering that there's something about the magician as well, that it's kind of like the beginner's mind in a way, because I mean the fool, I guess, is the beginner's mind, but the magician is the first cab off the rank, in that trying to do something once we've taken that leap of faith. What are we now going to do with our new experience of being alive with the tarot as tarot readers? And yeah, just to make sure that no matter how many readings you've done, that you still allow yourself to realize that there is always more to learn, and that it's not necessarily looking to people who are older and have been doing it for longer. Just being open to however the experience reveals itself. I remember once a 4-year-old who I didn't even know giving me just a very short tarot reading. I'd given him a tarot reading on the lawn of a church. I'm not religious, but I attended this church because a friend was singing as a part of some workshop she'd been doing. So I watched her sing, and afterwards there was a group of us sitting on the cards on the lawn outside the church, and I pulled out the cards, and the priest didn't mind. He was quite interested in the whole thing. And this 4-year-old just gave me the most precise and on-point reading in literally 3 sentences. He said something, I asked a querying question, and then he said something else again. It's like, man, this 4-year-old just predicted my relationship that hadn't yet happened, but was about to, in such a magical way. So, yeah, keep in mind that sometimes those beautiful, inspiring, magical learnings will come from people who don't necessarily have all the letters after their name or the big high priestess experience. Sometimes they will, which is amazing as well. There's a lot to be said for people who have been holding the knowledge of a tool such as the tarot for a long time, and I think that should always be respected. But don't forget to see what that 4-year-old is saying, or someone in your life who knows a little bit about the tarot but is a bit, oh no, I'm not very good. And sometimes I will force my wife to give a reading. I don't force her to give a reading for me, but I can just give me a reading. So no, I'm not good enough. It's like, no, she doesn't actually say that she's not good enough. But I'm the tarot reader, right? I'm the professional tarot reader who is asking her, the tattooer, to give me a tarot reading. Her readings are always on point because she's not bogged down by all the learnings of the tarot, that she's just able to deliver this really beautiful, intuitive reading. So I'm always appreciative of that. And when I ask my friends to do it for me sometimes as well, and they're like, no, I can't. But they just look at the card and go, and they'll just say something, and that's where the magic is. And it's always nice to feel like a beginner again. Because I remember someone telling me something about the 3 of Pentacles that really had no training in the tarot at all, and how they described the 3 of Pentacles actually forever changed my understanding of the 3 of Pentacles. And I'm also thinking of when I first went to my first tarot conference, which is the Reader Studio in New York City. This was in 2015, the first one I went to. And by that time, I'd been full-time as a tarot reader for 13 years. So I felt quite confident in myself. Yes, I'm a full-time tarot reader. I've been doing this for some time. The proof is in the pudding. And it was actually really special to be in a room of so many readers, several of them in there who had been doing readings for a lot longer than I am. A lot old, not a lot older, some of them, but older and more experienced in the tarot. And I actually really enjoyed feeling like a little young baby. And it forever opened my world. But what I also liked about those experiences, that the teachers, the presenters, weren't telling us what to do. They were instructing us in doing something for ourselves so that we could then take that home and integrate it into our lives. So I think the best magicians will always be those who ask you to do it, figure it out for yourself. They'll show you the way and you can observe that. And as tarot readers, I think it's really important to have a really nice balance between checking out what those who have walked before us are saying and doing, but also know that there is a hell of a lot in your inside, in your intuition, that is very worthy of note. And if you feel drawn to learn something more deeply, do it. But if you're not really vibing to learn something, you just want to keep on practicing, then that's what it's about. That's the magician for you in that moment, and embrace that, because surely wonderful things will come from that. There we have it, the magician. My name is Sarah Barry, also known as Psychic Sarah. This is Tarot Off the Cuff. Bye for now.
Hey, this is Kevin.
Hi, this is Nooch.
Thanks for watching.
If you like what you saw, please hit a thumbs up and subscribe. You'll know when new ones are coming. And share with your friends.
We'll see you soon.